Hi everyone, welcome to Case a Card. This is no longer a collab because I think Heather stopped doing it last month. And I've decided I'm just going to continue as long as I have a current Stampin' Up! Catalog. Right now there are two. There's a mini catalog that goes till May 1st, and the annual catalog also goes till May 1st. So then the idea is to copy and selectively edit, and how I'm doing it is pick a card out of a current Stampin' Up! Catalog, even though I'm not a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So I'm going to continue well, I had told Heather at least as long as these catalogs are valid, even though I'm not a demonstrator, but I might just do it the rest of the year. It depends. I'll see. So I picked this month out of the annual catalog on page 62, this little note card, and it uses the Stamp and Die set, which was a carryover in this catalog from before. It's Plentiful Plants, and this is it. It's really nice. I haven't used it a whole lot, but I used this stamp, and I used a little note, which is what they did, which I had to mask off the rest. And then, because it's a note card, I actually brought out, Stampin' Up! Has these basic white, and I think they still have them in very vanilla. I'm not sure. Note cards and envelopes, they're this size. They're, let's see, 5 1/8 by 3 5/8 inches. And I also used Granny Apple Green. However, I did not use Granny Apple Green as my base card. I used those note cards. These are the envelopes for them. And I'm trying to use up paper, which if you watched my video on the 28th of February, you'll know I'm trying to use up this Friendly Hello. And oh gosh, look, there's Granny Apple Green in there. And that's not a color I gravitate towards. But I did like the planner. I didn't use red for the planner. I used Bermuda Bay. I used soft suede for the hanging rope, which is one of the dies. At first when I saw that, I thought they used a different die set, but it's actually in the dies, and I used soft suede. And then they used what appears to be petal pink. I'm not a big petal pink fan, as many of you know by now. So I used actually Mary Merlot, and then I was going to use Mossy Meadow, but mine is about dry and I was lazy, so I used Pear Pizzazz instead. And then they actually on the striped paper, they used this, you're not seeing that, they used this stamp, and stamped on the paper, and then they stamped and die cut the rest of them. And I didn't stamp on the paper because my paper already has leaves all over it. So that is on page 62 of the current annual catalog that looks like this. It says through April, but somewhere on here, yes, to 1 May 2023 on the spine it says. So let's see how this turned out. And we're going to do one together. I made a set of 4. I'm making a set of 4. So these are what they look like. I think they came out really pretty. And I did a couple things. I don't know how they did the top of their, they do have, actually I'm not sure they have a gem there. It just looks like the leaf is going up there. But I put a metallic gem on, which is from these, which are current, the Brush Metallic Adhesive Dots, and I use this one that I don't use much, and I just use the big one. And then for the bling, I also use these on the 28th. I'm using the Genial Gems. This is Mint Macaron, but it has like a sort of a coppery or gold spark. I think it's like, I don't know, some kind of sparkle in it. And on the green paper, I thought it looked darker and it looked fine. So that's what I did. And then a little note, like I said, I had to mask that off. I stamped it in Bermuda Bay, and I fussy cut this. So some of these are a little bit crooked because my trimmer just wasn't cutting close enough. And if you look on here, they have it real short. Now they cut their paper shorter here. In fact, I don't know if that's a piece of designer paper or a bunch of little strips. I think it's designer paper. Bless them if they did it little strips, because that would be a pain in the butt. Anyway, so I didn't use the Granny Apple Green cardstock, but I took it over to the full size minus 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And we're going to do the last one together. I've already stamped. We're just going to assemble so you can see how I did it. But I think the Mary Merlot and the Pear Pizzazz is enough of a contrast, even with the Granny Apple Green in the background. What do you think? I think so. Anyway, oh, and also, well, you'll see when we do it. Okay, let's get started. Sorry, I have apparently cat fur everywhere and my hair everywhere. So I'm also using, if I can figure out what I just did with them, here they are, some of the glue dots that were from the paper pumpkin kit I recently finished in the craft with a kit collab I do with Paige, and I'm using some dimensionals also. Okay, and my picky tool, and I have these 2 strips. I thought I might just cut them down to size. Actually, I might just glue them in and cut them to put something on the inside, but I don't want to put any more sentiment on the inside. Okay, so the first thing is I just took my skinny tip art glitter glue. I didn't get it on straight, as you can see, but I put the glue on the soft suede on the back, and then I turned it around and I held it and I tried to get it as straight as possible, but I got it a little off, but it's okay. Nobody's going to know. That's going to be covered by the sentiment. Nobody's going to know except all of you. Now, you could use glue, but since I'm trying to use, or you could use tape runner and just put some across the back here. I'm trying to use these glue dots up. So I'm just going to put a bunch of them across here. And maybe one down, oops, I don't know where, oh, there it is. Well, I didn't get that exactly where I wanted. One down a little further for the stems. And then I actually, okay, these are sticking to me. They have to move. I actually find that it is easier for me to get them off with my thumbnail. Hello, Callie Cat. My cat just came up. Hello. Want me to move that so you can get through? Go ahead. I had her floor, the aisle, blocked completely with the catalog. She could have jumped over it, couldn't you? Yeah, you could have jumped over it. Okay. Okay, so they're off. Now we're just going to take one of these. And I had a little difficulty getting these on straight, even with tape, so I do have more white than I would like. I was trying to get it so that the reddish part is up above the top, but you know what? It really doesn't matter. Now we're going to put more glue dots on. So I hope you're all having a good March so far by the time you see this. I'm actually recording this in February, the end of February. I have to do that. I have to go do stuff ahead of time. So I'm just going to put one up here also. And that should be enough, because then we're also going to have, well, I just curled them a little bit, but it's okay. And then we'll bring in our Pear Pizzazz one, and now I do turn them around because I kind of want the Mary Merlot one. It reminded me of hostas. Do you know the plant hostas? And they come in some variations of red and green and stuff too. But it's a hanging basket, so who knows what kind it is. So that's it for that. And let me try and get these out of the way a little bit. And we won't need that anymore for a while. Oh, well, we will. All right, now we're going to put some dimensionals on the back, and that will help hold them on also. And I am putting some up on these bigger leaves because, you know, they're going to be against the card too. But down here, I try to put them there, and then, oh, and also on the bottom of the pot. Sometimes I put one, sometimes I put two. It just depends on the placement of the plant. I'll put a couple small ones on over here. I don't really think I need one over there. All right, so we'll take them off, and then we will, oh, I forgot a glue dot on something. Before I take all those off, let me get another glue dot because we have to have one right here. And I'm not going to take the paper off of that until I get one of these big brushed metallic jobbies and put it on the front. And that way the glue dot on the back will also serve to help hold that in place better. Okay, now we can take that off. Hopefully, maybe just the paper, not the glue dot. All right, let's try again. There we go. And now we can take the rest of these off. I should have a little trash bin on my desk, huh? Or a little bowl or something, because these things get all over. The problem is I really just don't have room for another bowl anywhere on my desk. Or a bowl, I should say. Okay, now we're going to put this. I kind of like to have the metallic thingy in the plain green somewhere, so maybe right about, maybe right about there. It's not quite as perfect as I'd like it. So that's pretty easy. And then the only other thing is a little note stamped in Bermuda Bay. I'm going to put 2 mini dimensionals over here on this side. I want to get them centered pretty good. And then I'm going to use 2 glue dots here. You could use wet glue, but and I normally probably would. But today I'm using glue dots to try and get them used up. Because these little loose bits all around my craft room, even if they're in a little basket on my desk, tend to get messy. And it's driving me a little nuts right at the moment. So anyway, okay. Now that one, that's the second time that happened. The paper, the top layer of the paper came off and not all the way down to the glue. So make sure you get that going. And I'm going to put this and see where I try and get it so that one dimensional is close. Now those are, it makes it a little bit not quite as high as these because you got three or so layers here, right? And this I want to push over, and that's it. That's how I did all the other ones. So now the only other thing, like I said, let's put this away and let's scrape these off with a scrap of paper I have here. Boop, under my hand so I can get them in the trash bin, hopefully. Sorry. You don't need to know that, but I just don't want them to catch on my sleeve and get everywhere. Oh, and then before we do that inside thing, let me get those genial gems. And we're just going to put, oops, we're going to put 3 large ones. We'll put one here. I like them in the plain green again, not on the plant. I think on this one we'll go here, and then one more. If you just have plain rhinestones or any kind of sparkly gem, that would do. A clear or an iridescent would be good. This is bugging me though. He doesn't want to stay in the middle. Stay in the middle, he or she. Now, let's go ahead and just do one of these. We'll do this one and then I'll do the rest off camera. All right, I'm going to just put a little strip of glue, maybe, right along here. Not very straight. And then we're going to put this down. Okay, I guess it's this way. Make sure you don't close your card when you have the glue on there before you get your paper down, or you'll have a card glued shut. And there we have it. There's another piece of that stuff. And the envelopes to go with them are here. Now you don't have to use the note cards and envelopes, but I think they are easier than trying to cut them yourself because they're kind of a different size. But I'm just going to go ahead and put, you know, these strips on the inside of these other ones, and then I'll have a nice little set of note cards. And I think, I might be wrong, but I think these are mailable. I think you can do regular postage on these. I'm not 100% sure. So check with your postal carrier. Otherwise, they'd have to go in a package. So again, just to bring it back in and show you theirs and mine. I always like mine better. Let me get them unstuck from each other here. This is the one in the catalog on page 62. And the stamp set and dies are on page 63 for Plentiful Plants. And this paper is retired, but you could use any paper. You could use a stripe like they did. And you could use any color in the background, really. Another thing that would look really cool is like a metallic, Stampin' Up! Has some embossing folders is what I'm trying to think. Like brick or anything like that would look good too. A piece of cardstock with, you know, and brick embossed or stone embossed, or even there's a 3D painted one that would look really cool, because then it looks like it's on the outside, you know, up against the outside of your house or something. All of those would look really good. So let me know what you think. Do you like it? I like it. I think it's pretty cool. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll come back next month on the 5th of the month for my case card challenge to myself that I'm doing. And I'm using it as copy and selectively edit. Take care and have a great March. Bye.